what's up guys? CountryReefs88 here. I told you guys I'd be making a sumpRefugium build for you guys, and that's what I'm going to do. First thing I want to go over is supplies. First thing off, PPE, protective personal equipment. You want to make sure you be safe the entire time. So you want to wear gloves so you don't cut your hands open, goggles, and a face mask or something to stop dust from going into your mouth and your nose, because you will be sanding the pieces of glass. And then if the small glass dust is going to get up in the air, and you don't want that getting into your system. So from there, you want the pieces of glass, which I have right here. I went out and I got 8 crate because I'm going to make little stages between my baffles so that I can put media and carbon and GFO or whatever I want to put in my, also my bags of ChemiPure Elite. You are going to want a caulk gun. Mine's kind of used, but anything will do. As long as it works, that's all that matters. I went to Lowe's and I got this right here. It is 100% silicone. So you can see right there. 100% silicone. You want to make sure you get the one that does not have the mildew or mold resistant chemical inside of it. It will hurt your tank more than it'll help your tank. But just make sure it's 100% silicone. Also, you're going to want a glass cutter. Looks kind of sort of like this right here. It's got really fine little blades on the bottom. You're going to want sandpaper. Like I said, you're going to have to sand the glass. All the fresh cuts that you make, you're going to want to sand it down so that it's got a nice smooth edge on the new cut glass. Because once you cut it, it is super sharp. It is very razor sharp. It will slice your hand, arm, anything right open. So you guys want to make sure you sand it down, and that's when the face mask comes in handy too. Make sure you wear it. Tape measure and a square. And you're also going to need something straight, a straight edge, to score the glass with. Okay guys, so what you want to do is you want to measure how tall you want it and how wide you're going to need it. I am actually first going to measure and cut the height, and then I'll do the width. So I want mine to be 15 inches starting off. Now just keep in mind guys, when the first baffles you make, that is going to set almost the height of the tank until you go further and further down. Only reason I'm doing it this way is so that I can get another piece out of this side right here. And what I want to do is make sure this right here lines up on the actual mark I just made. Then I also want to make sure it's square. Just like that guys. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm going to take a clamp. Okay, it did move just a little bit, so just make sure it's still square. Still good. And take another clamp. Now I'm not entirely sure. I know this isn't the absolute proper way of doing it, but I like doing it this way. That way I know it's not going to move on me. It's not going to do anything of that sort, so I get a nice clean cut. There we go. And now you're going to take your glass cutter And I usually just make sure, double check everything's good on the end. Sometimes they get little. And I'm going to use the side with the screw. It's going to go towards the wood. And you want to put a lot of pressure down. Give me 1 second, guys. My glass cutter was a little loose. Okay. I make several passes just to make sure it's deep enough, because I am using a 1/4 inch glass. So I just want to make sure that when I go to make the snap, it is going to be a nice clean snap. It's not going to be any burrs or anything with small pieces. And if I do, I will show you how to take those out. It's actually not that hard. Okay. Loosen this up, guys. All you want to do, you want to find a straight edge or something that you can snap this on. You can actually put something underneath, like right here. But since I have a nice strong edge, all I want to do, let me try and zoom in on this for you guys so you guys can see this. Apply a little pressure and put the seam that you scored on the glass right over the edge. You put a little pressure and make sure you hold on to this piece. Just like that, guys. Since this is the piece I'm going to keep, slide this over here. Now this is where I said to make sure you have gloves. This part right here where I just cut it, you can see it is very, very sharp. So you want to make sure that you take your sandpaper to the edge of it. And make sure you have all your PPE gear on, which I just forgot. Go over this a little, and you'll be able to tell where all the sharp spots are. Okay, there we go, guys. Okay, now we're going to do the width, which is 11 7/8. But I'm going to go check one more time. So I like to measure twice and cut once. And it is 11 7/8. I'll probably go a little bit shorter than that, just to be on the safe side, because I am going to be using silicone and it will fill the space. And I just want to advise you guys that it's a lot easier to cut bigger spaces on the glass than it is if you were to try and cut smaller. I'm not entirely sure why, or if you were to have a tool that can actually cut straight through the glass, that might be a little bit more preferable. If you were to have to cut smaller, they do have little tools for like Dremels and stuff like that. You can get. It's not the cleanest cut, but it does get through if you have to cut smaller. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the process that I just did a little bit ago. And line this up and square it up. And it looks like I will have a couple pieces to show you, which is fine. All you take is the pliers like this. Just snap off little pieces just like that. Make sure you guys do this somewhere where you're not going to have a whole lot of people walking around afterwards. Or if you do, make sure you vacuum up. I unfortunately have a shop vac, which I will be using to get most of this stuff up. You really just want to get the majority of this, because after you get the majority of it, you're just going to take the sandpaper and go over it, and it should smooth it right out. And don't worry guys, this is actually going to be on the side, so you're not going to really see it. The silicone, can't talk tonight. The silicone is actually going to cover most of it up. Okay, there we go. You take a sandpaper. Actually, I'm probably going to do a piece. Give me a second, guys. There you go. Now when you take it over here, it should fit. I hope I'm not making myself a liar. A little snug, but I'm not going to complain too much about that. Just like that. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. And I'll go ahead and speed through all this stuff so you guys can just stay tuned and follow along. And then we're going to go ahead and after we get everything cut, we're going to go ahead and start measuring, gluing up, and bracing everything together. Okay guys. Okay guys, basically now you want to do is get your silicone ready. There we go. You're going to need a knife. No, I do not have my my nice knife with me right now. Sorry guys. I was always taught to make I want to say at least a 45-degree angle. That way you can press it up against the corner. It won't lay up. Just like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. I'll bring you guys closer. Okay. Now, I actually did lie to you guys. Take this out. So your little tool right here. Make sure there's no gunk on it. You have to poke down to pierce it. There we go. I'm just going to put that to the side real quick. Now that that's ready, we're going to go ahead and measure out the baffles. If I can find where I put my tape measure. It's right up here. Okay. So I've decided I'm going to put my first baffle 12 inches from here. And you also want your square before I get too far ahead of myself. Just to make sure everything is going to be square in your sump. I'm actually going to take out a couple of these just so that they're out of the way. And put them in order of where to go over here on the other side of the sump. Measure out 12 inches and I'm just going to make a little mark. That way I know where it's supposed to go exactly. I'm also going to do it on the front. Don't worry about marking up your tank. It is the bottom tank after all, and this will come off without chemicals. Okay, now that I have that done, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it over, put it into place. There we go. Like it right there. Perfect. Okay. Silicone it up. Now that it is completely squared. If it want to come. There it goes. Now, if you do get it on the glass over here, do not worry. You know, it is silicone. You can take a razor blade and just take it right off. So now that I got it on all this, basically all I want to do is I'm just going to take my finger and smooth it out all the way up so it creates a nice tight seam. Now do notice that I did not use tape for this, just for the fact that it is your sump. It's not supposed to look pretty. Well, I mean, it can look pretty, or it can look, good, but it's not going to look professional. You're not trying to show it off or anything like that. This is literally just for hiding your equipment, adding a gallon size to your tank, and that should be it. So I don't suggest taking too much time, and make sure you have something to wipe your fingers off. Okay guys, everything is installed on the 55-gallon sump. All the chambers, all the baffles, all the egg crate for the stages for chambers. First chamber over here is going to be the skimmer intake section. We made it a foot wide. The next baffle, I had made 2 stages. I am going to put filter floss up top so it can be interchangeable when it gets too full. Second one, I'm going to be putting either a sponge or something just to catch smaller debris. The second chamber over here is for my refugium. Then we got a baffle over here. This baffle right here, I put a little piece of egg crate right here so that the calopa or the chaeto or anything won't, anything big like that won't get over to the next baffle and into the return, but it will allow for copepods and whatnot to get into the main tank. I also put another stage over here because that is where I'm going to be putting my ChemiPure Elite, is right there. That way the water flow goes straight through it. We go down below. I made this baffle a little bit smaller just so that no bubbles or anything or any debris can get further into this section right here. As you can see, I also lifted this up a little bit so that my return pump sits right on top of it, allowing for water movement to get underneath so that there's no debris or anything that gets stuck on in between or underneath the pump. I'm also going to get, I think I have a small power head I'm going to put in there just to keep it flowing. So guys, that's pretty much all I did. The ways I did the chambers over here, all I did was I siliconed small little pieces of egg crate to the side of the glass, and then I created the long pieces to go on top of those. So they just slide right into place. They can come right out to get to the bottom, and they go right back in. That way it makes maintenance on the tank a whole lot easier. Well guys, I really hope you guys like my 55-gallon sump tutorial. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe and like. I really appreciate it, and that way you guys can keep up to date with all my videos in the future. There will be more to come, so I really appreciate it, and you guys have a good day.